Welcome to Simply Mindful Yoga. I'm Carrie, and here we're going to explore the roots of yoga, the history, and the tradition. We're going to do this by breaking down each posture or asana, including the stories behind them, and an accessible way for everybody to do each posture. So grab a seat, some comfy clothes, and a drink, and join us. We're so glad you're here. Before we get started talking about the asana, i.e. the postures, I want to take you on a brief journey of history through the evolution of yoga. As far as we know, yoga started between 2500 and 200 BCE, before the Common Era, in the Indus River Valley, which is in what is modern day India. So the earliest written mentions of yoga occur in the Vedas, Vedas. The Vedas were written approximately 1500 BCE, or about 3,000 years ago. The Vedas are the most ancient of Hindu scriptures. So between 2900 and 1900 BCE, there were two large cities in the Indus River Valley, Harappa and, I'm going to mess up this pronunciation, Mohenjo-daro. They were the centers of trade and commerce. They were very modern cities for their time. But the men in these cities, to escape the stress of city life, went into the forest to meditate. And that is the first instance we have of yoga. During this time, other texts were discovered, written. The Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, or the Gita. The Gita is a conversation between Krishna, or God, and Arjuna, who represents all of us. It is a metaphor for the struggle within each of us between what is good and right and our shadow side. And I'm reading right now, so I make sure it's accurate. Through the Gita, Krishna presents the three paths of the practice of yoga. Karma, which is action. Jnana, which is knowledge, wisdom. And Bhakti, which is surrender and devotion. Krishna also presents meditation and how to become self-realized. Krishna explains non-attachment, duty, right living, the practice of yoga, and the mystery and wonder of humanity's relationship to the divine. Now, after this, there's a golden era in India between 200 BCE and 1100 CE. So there's a spice trade, culture, and religious spread. So men, as they went out into these forests to meditate, and 12-year-old boys that came with them, the boys had issues just sitting and meditating. So the asana, or the postures, were developed to help 12-year-old boys prepare their body and mind for meditation. It wasn't until around this time, way after the Gita, the Vedas, the Upanishads, that the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali came. We don't know if Patanjali was one person or a group of people, but whoever Patanjali was wrote these 4 padas, or books. Pada means foot. So each book is a foot, a limb, not a limb, but a foot of yoga. And he tells you what yoga is and how to do it. And this is where the 8-limbed path of yoga comes in. The 8-limbed path are the yamas and the niyamas, which are the observations and ethical practices. Asana, which is the postures. Pranayama, which is breath work. Pratyahara, which is sensory withdrawal. And then you have dhyana, dharana, and samadhi, which are one-pointed concentration, meditation, and full absorption. So as you can see, what we think of in the West as yoga, like a yoga class, is just one part of yoga. And the purpose of the yoga class, or the asana, the movement, is to prepare your body and mind for meditation. And it must go, if you're practicing it correctly, in this 8-limbed path in order to reach absorption or samadhi. So that is the briefest history of yoga. There is a whole lot more of how it came to the Western world, what it's turned into. But for now, I will leave you with that. And when we come back, we will start talking about the asanas, or the postures. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.